voted in by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, the voters in Fulton chose her like 70%, and the other person got 30%. Okay, that is not a DEI hire. That is someone who they wanted to do the job that she was chosen to do.
All right. So we understand that Fani is in what you call hot water. And, they will defend her. And you try to say, well, what are they defending? Well, we got to take a look.
So when I became the district attorney of Fulton County, the office was in absolute chaos. I have to take you back. Can you hear me?
It's a little. I was gonna try to turn you up if you don't mind leaning forward.
When I became the district attorney of Fulton County, the office was in absolute chaos. And I mean every level of chaos. On the ground, the carpet was molded and there were holes in it, and it was disgusting environment.
When I took over for Fulton County, there was a disgusting environment.
There were boxes in offices, some to where you couldn't open the door. I remember walking through the office before. I told you I'd fired 50 or 60, I don't know exactly how many employees that I felt were unqualified to do this work. That doesn't mean they were bad people, but they were unqualified for the positions that they held.
Once I got in office, I started to fire about 50 or 60 people. Fani Willis goes scorched earth.
There were 18,000, write that down, 18,000 unindicted.
Ma'am, you don't got to tell me to write nothing down. Just carry on and answer the question.
Cases that went back 6 or 7 years that I was looking at, not to mention another, 10,000 indicted cases in the system. Now, some that the judges had hid on judicial hold, but they were still there. So the office was in absolute chaos. And then I'm in the office I came in that Saturday, so that would have been day one. That was the day that I walked through the office. And I'm literally in the office that Monday or Tuesday. I can't recall now what day it is. And there's this phone call in the Secretary of State saying, oh, the proper venue to investigate this might be Fulton County. And so my priority became, and this is important too, there were 200 and something murders that had been sitting for years, families that had been waiting for justice for years. And so when I come to be the district attorney, my first responsibility is just getting the office properly set up. In fact, one of the most important roles I held up that I tried to find was the head of the civil rights lawyer. So when Brian Watkins walked into my office and actually interviewed to come there because he was not with the old administration, that was like a gift from God that I had a lawyer that had enough experience.
This is what we're dealing with, guys. Okay? You get these people in a position where, wow, they got to talk for a living?
Then to do by many people, okay? And y'all don't know what a DEI hire is in the first place. So I don't even know why I'm entertaining like y'all's bullshit narrative about what a DEI hire even is. But anyway, don't make me defend that woman. Don't make me defend her. One of the things that I do not like is
Listen, I had no idea that this hearing was scheduled to take place on.
Now that's a horrible voice. That's a horrible voice, son.
I thought this whole thing was over with, but clearly it's not. Fani Willis is still going at it with some of these politicians here in the state of Georgia in regards to her indicting Donald Trump and people from his administration. Yesterday she had a hearing.
Man, her voice is just like her character, dull and slow. Look how Fani talk. Fani talk that city talk.
And would be talented enough and ethical enough and have the integrity to do this work. But my primary job was getting the entire office set up. So I immediately do things like set up a murder backlog project. I put Mike Carlson and Michael Sprinkle in charge of that. We're going to get every family's going to get an answer. They may not like the answer. The answer maybe we can't prosecute this, but we're not going to sit with cases. We got to make decisions on this case.
So you didn't really give me a date range, but we'll just move on here. But you did consider Governor Barnes for this role. He's testified to that previously.
And let me tell you what Governor Barnes told me. Governor Barnes told me when he was the governor, he changed the state flag from the Confederate flag. And that as a result of him changing the Confederate flag to changing the flag to make it more inclusive to all Georgians, that the Ku Klux Klan sat outside his house and that he lived under threat during that time period.
So now she's ratting on the governor and she's ratting on the Ku Klux Klan. This is what happens when you deal with your sisters.
He told me that him and his beautiful wife had survived that, but that he was an older gentleman now. I'm going to say that nicely. He was an older gentleman, and due to the nuts that would come out of the woodwork if I was doing this type of work, that he was not at a juncture in his life where he could take those kind of security risks. He also refused to work for $250 an hour.
You think you know David's story.
I can attest to
that. We've got some question in here, Governor, on your rates, and we'll get to that in a little bit. You did, Madam DA, you considered several attorneys for this case in addition to Mr. Barnes?
I did.
And ultimately, you selected Mr. Wade to oversee the anti-corruption unit. Is that correct?
He never oversaw the anti-corruption unit.
My apologies. To oversee the elections interference case.
To manage, yes.
How would you delineate manage versus my choice of oversee?
They're the same.
Okay.
How would you delineate, or how would you how would you tell the difference? How would you tell the difference from how I explained it and how you explained it? When you deal with a sister, there's no difference. I'm going to say that nicely, that she's openly being nasty, right?
What happened between January 2021, I believe that's when the phone call was that you referenced, in November 2021, which was the time that Mr. Wade signed his first contract. What type of work happened within any area of your office in terms of gathering evidence or considering whether or not to bring these charges?
You want me to answer? Not particularly. I don't think it's any of their business.
You're getting into
She said, I don't think it's any of their business.
Not particularly. I don't think it's any of their business.
You're getting into why a grand jury returns a bill of indictment. That is a deliberative process wrapped in the discretion of the district attorney. We're not going to get. I'm going to instruct.
This is crazy, son. Yo, this is crazy. She's up there acting like a complete asshole, but guess why? Because she's on the hot seat. Okay? And she got to sit amongst white men. Like I said, being difficult and nasty for no reason is why the fuck she correcting him if it's the same. Exactly. It don't make sense.
Wait just a minute. You can, if you see fit, you can filter. I'm telling her not to answer.
I'm clear to answer the question.
I made the objection on the record, and you.
Cost, I'd love to talk about how last year alone the AG paid one lawyer $8 million.
Of course, last year I like to snitch on how the AG paid somebody $1 million. She's a rat. You can't fuck with these. Let me watch myself.
You don't know what the cost of you don't know the cost of the election interference case?
I don't know the exact cost.
What's the range?
As I don't want to speculate to numbers. Whatever it cost, they tried to steal the rights of thousands of Georgians. It couldn't have been enough.
What was the rough total operating budget of your office last year?
I don't know that. It's probably around $40 million. That's a speculation and a guess. That includes state money, grant money, and that's not an exact number.
I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to say it's a guess that we ran about 40 million. God damn. They trying to get that money out of this bitch control.
Do the budget. I'll have very high level conversations about that.
Okay. Can you give us a rough breakdown of that, the county budget and the state budget?
I cannot, and I'm not going to guess for you.
Does the federal government give you any money?
I do have some grants, yes.
The only source of federal money you get is from grants?
To my knowledge, I don't. There may be something else.
To my knowledge, there may be something else. Ma'am, this is what happened. Think about this, guys. They talk like this to people that could take their money and put them away or whatever, fuck up their livelihood. How you think they gonna talk to you, somebody who is getting their pussy where they think their pussy is better than you?
We may have some federal seizure money. If we do, it's not much. So I don't know. I don't want to speculate. If I say, oh, they gave me grant money and it's federal seizure money, and you find some line item someplace that I don't know, you'll swear I was trying to lie to you. When the truth is, I don't know the correct answer.
I'm just trying to get to. I know you run a tight ship over there. You're proud of your work. I would assume that you would have
I'm the best DA in the Southeast. Why wouldn't I be proud?
Well, why don't you know how much money is in there, bitch? Yo, we fucked up.
My work.
What's your annual budget?
I told you it's around $40 million, but I do not know an exact number.
And what's the approximate source of funds that you receive from the state versus the county?
Me, like every other district attorney in the state, do not receive enough funds. I told you
Hold
that.
on. Did I hear that right?
Me, like exact number.
And what's the approximate source of funds that you receive from the state versus the
What is the approximate source of funds?
$40 million, but I do not know an exact number.
And what's the approximate source of funds that you receive from the state versus the county?
Me, like every other district attorney in the state, do not receive enough funds.
Wow.
I told you that you all pay 20 to 25 ADAs. I don't know the exact number. I have it in front of me. You pay two legal assistants and one investigator. Now, Fulton County is 1,000,002 people. It's the place that when people come to Georgia, they're coming is to Atlanta. On a daily basis, we have 5 million people, and we are very improperly funded.
Well, hold on. If you know all of that, then how much is it, bitch?
This committee wants to do some real work. It'll get serious about crime fighting among this state, from every rural community to I'm answering my question.
That's not the answer to the question.
Okay, well, if this committee wants to get serious about legislation to make the communities in the state of Georgia safer, they will invest more money in every district attorney's office across this state. That's the rural DAs need more, the middle size, the residentials, and the big cities like Atlanta. All of us need more resources to be able to do our job appropriately. And it is a joke the way that these people are funded that are dedicating their lives to public service. Also, I want to go back to, because this is extremely important and you have the power to do it. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation cannot take rape kids.
For advice on what the legislation
you asked
do.
Exactly what the resolution said, to take advice on legislation.
And we will get to that time.
You answer the question, she has a right to fully answer.
And if she would answer the question, Governor, I would not be saying it. She's pontificating on everything from rape kits, which is about to get into. The question was the amount of money that came from.
Hey, ain't nobody in there right. He's like, yo, Governor, she's giving us the runaround. What do you expect us to do here?
State funds and county funds, and she doesn't know the answer to that question. The answer is I don't know. The question isn't let me talk. The answer isn't let me talk about rape kits. So I'll get back to the line of question. I'm going to give you latitude here, Madam DA. But same way in a courtroom, there are guardrails as to what we need to stay in and within. Indeed, Governor, and this is not a courtroom.
To make evidentiary rulings, and you don't have the power.
I have plenary power, Governor, to conduct the meeting.
No, sir,
Absolutely.
You do not have plenary power. I know you think you do, and that you're above the law, but you are not. If you want to cite her for contempt,
Governor,
she is entitled to a jury trial, and I can examine you on your actions, and I can examine you on your motives, then I will be glad to take that. As Clint Eastwood would say, make my day.
Well, we know the motives.
What the hell happened down there, yo? I did not know this was like that out there. I had an idea that Fani went scorched earth, but this is some serious shit.
He's on the ballot.
Governor, this is a hearing of the Senate Special Committee on Investigations.
You're not worried about those that you convicted illegally and locked up. Why is it that you run ads?
We're going to go on to our next question.
Oh,
how are the funds?
But this is what it is, though. And I'm going to tell you niggas something. You know, most gladiator BWs wish that they had somebody speaking up for their ass like that.
Okay, so are y'all watching this Fani Willis hearing down there in Georgia? Baby, I am watching it and I am reviewing some of the chats, and I listen. Fani is me, and I am her.
Fani is me, and I am her. This is what I wanted to show you guys. There's no difference from Fani Willis to this big gladiator bitch. That's what I want to show you.
That's an I am. Listen. Fani is me. Fani is me, and I am her. Fani is me, and I am her. I have told y'all I have never worked in the courtroom as a lawyer because I do not have the professionalism or the decorum that I should have at my big age and education level. Fani,
ma'am, basically you saying you do not know how to be a lady. Ain't got nothing to do with professionalism. You are more comfortable with eating whatever you want and doing whatever you want.
that I should have at my big age and education level. Fani is me, because I'm gonna cuss all of y'all asses out. What's bothering me is the microaggressions and the anti-blackness that's going on with Fani in these comments about this hearing. Because let me tell you something, Fani has her issues. Fani has her issues as a prosecutor and what she's done with that office. Fani has her issues, but why she is irritated in this hearing is because she knows they don't care. She knows they don't care. They don't care nothing about that YSL RICO. She knows they don't care. She knows that they are mad that she had the audacity. She had the audacity as a Black woman to prosecute their king. Okay? Don't you ever come against the king with your Black ass.
Hello? Hello? Why would you do that? Why would you try to go against the king? Only a dumbass would do that.
Don't you ever come against the king with your Black ass.
No, not black ass, dumbass.
Don't you ever come against the king with your Black ass. And all the Black people that are rooting for her to be fired and lose her law license is stressing me out.
You see what happens, King Disagreeable? Her being overweight don't stress her out. Her having a fucking fiending desire like a basehead for food don't stress her out.
Fuck them. Fani is me and I am her. And I wish her all the peace, okay? Go in there and cuss their asses out. Cuss them down to the ground. Matter of fact, call up Yunti. Okay? Call up Yunti and get some good insults, Fani.
There you go, guys. These are your sisters.
During her testimony today to the Georgia State Senate Committee, Fani Willis' microphone was muted. A defiant Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis testified before the Georgia State Senate Committee. The committee scrutinized her prosecution of President Donald Trump and multiple co-defendants. At one point, Willis' microphone was muted when she testified beyond the questions she was asked. Willis was asked about her hiring of Nathan Wade, in which she was formally accused of having a love affair.
Wow. She said accused. Yo, this is wild. You fat, you know what?
Nathan Wade was a lead prosecutor on the Fulton County massive 2020.
I mean, these bitches ain't got no... These bitches are just the worst of the worst, pimp.
Why is Fani Willis back inside of a courtroom today? Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney, is testifying before a Georgia State Senate Committee about the Trump case from 2020. Now, lawmakers,
My God, these bitches are a drag.
I had to go back and watch that Fani Willis thing that I posted where she's giving it to that man about the racism in her community, about how there's people that are violence and things like that, and then the others aren't doing anything. Man, she calls them straight out. And the whole time, I'm just like, tell him, Fani. I'm just getting turned on. I'm like, give it to him, boy.
She said I was getting turned on. You big rainbow bitch. This bitch got rainbow flags on her shit. So she is just a
that, and then the others aren't doing anything. Man, she calls them straight out. And the whole time, I'm just like, tell him, Fani. I'm just getting turned on. I'm like, give it to him, boy. I love a Black woman who don't take no shit.
There you go. There you go. What more we need to see here? These bitches ain't shit. We all know it. They all show it. Okay? Look at this bitch.
You ready to tell them what they want to hear?
Is it true that part of your transition team was involved in the process of interviewing people before you entered office to lead the investigation into the 2020 presidential election?
If you recall the facts, I was already district attorney when this all came to light. I interviewed everybody at the DA's office, and I interviewed other people to come and work at the district attorney's office. And as I told you, I did that on my free time before I became DA. But I had no way of knowing that these criminals were going to commit a crime. You all want to intimidate people from doing the right thing, and you think that you're going to intimidate me. But you see, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I ain't going to quit in a month.
Oh, hold on. Marjorie Taylor Greene catching a stray.
To intimidate me. But you see, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I ain't going to quit in a month because somebody threatens me.
Yo, son. Whew. This bitch, dog. This bitch is something else. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess for the type of money that Fani's paying, I'll fuck her. I mean, I'll fuck her from behind. I guess she'd be like, why? You got to fuck me face up, Prince. I'd be like, fuck. I just want, can I oil you your yellow ass up and fuck you from behind all the time? Nah, Prince, you got to fuck me face up. Damn.
You ready to tell them what your
Damn. I got to fuck this bitch face up, son. Not cool.
You say that we give you the money. I know that's
The grant.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base
Hold on, let me
44.
look.
Some that
I guess it ain't that bad. She light-skinned.
add with my general fund. And as I said, not just my
It's just that she got all that belly. And my whole thing is I could just bend her over and have a better time.
SACA unit, but my crimes against children unit, my SACA unit, my sexual assault unit, my human trafficking unit. We're ending the year with 100%.
So just yes or no on these. We can move quickly on to the next topic. You said you do not have a county credit card or a DA credit card.
Absolutely not. So y'all can say I stole some money.
Is there any sort of DA checking account that's separate that you use to pay your vendors or anything like that, or is it all to go through the county?
I really can't answer that, and so I'm not going to speculate. I stole some money.
Is there any sort of DA checking account that's separate that you use to pay your vendors or anything like that, or is it all to go through the county?
I really can't answer that, and so I'm not going to speculate.
Okay. You mentioned forfeiture funds before. Do you have a ballpark of how much you've received? I think you said it was a small number of state forfeiture funds.
No, I said federal.
Okay.
I don't think there's much in the federal forfeiture account.
Do you receive state forfeiture funds?
I do.
Approximately how much a year is that in an average year?
I don't know the number to that. I can tell you I have sitting in abeyance. I just did a huge forfeiture, but it's not money we can touch yet, and it's a couple $1 million.
Okay. What's your understanding of the allowed uses of state forfeiture funds?
Oh, if I don't know the use of a forfeiture money, I talk to lawyers in the office. I'll go to PAC. I don't touch forfeiture money unless I get some approval.
Do you know of any delineation between the allotment, the allowance of uses between state forfeiture funds
there's definitely
and federal?
rules. There's definitely rules.
I was asking about the difference between federal and state, if there's any rules there.
There are rules to both, and I don't know I can't tell you the rules for each. Anytime we were going to make an expenditure, we would look at it, I'm sure.
Do you know if those funds are commingled at all within your system?
I don't know it, but I would believe not.
Okay. Who is it? You mentioned that you've got people. Who is it that oversees the use of forfeiture funds in the office?
It's going to be the county that goes. Stuff is going to go back to the county.
Okay. And do you know whether or not any forfeiture funds were used to pay Mr. Wade?
I'm not aware of that. We would have submitted the invoices to the county. The county would use one of those mini line items. They would have paid them.
Can you think of a...
Dang, that's crazy. That's what you got to give Fani credit for. You got to give her credit. Got to give her credit for that. She was making the state, the government, whomever, pay for her endeavor to try to fuck with Trump. But Nathan was getting paid from, from you people. Wow. We got to give her credit for that.
Any forfeiture funds were used to pay Mr. Wade?
I'm not aware of that. We would have submitted the invoices to the county. The county would have used one of those mini line items. They would have paid them.
Can you think of a reason why forfeiture funds would be used to pay Mr. Wade?
I guess
She just told you that she doesn't know. So
yeah, you were asking me to speculate.
You do not know whether Mr. Wade was paid with state forfeiture funds or not?
You're asking me to speculate?
No, I'm asking if you know whether or not state forfeiture, any forfeiture funds were used.
I'm unaware of that.
Okay.
I'm unaware if the answer is yes. I'm unaware if the answer is no. What I'm aware of is the process.
Yo, they got Fani on the hot seat, son. They got her on the hot seat, man. I mean, anybody that know what it is, you sitting around with some whiteys determining your ass, you like, fuck.
Was turning a bill, and they would do it. You and Jim Jordan working together?
I've never talked to Mr. Jordan.
I don't know
want
about
to
that. Anybody who doesn't report people that get raped in college, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Governor.
Oh, yo, she's a rat.
You and Jim Jordan working together?
I've never talked to Mr. Jordan.
I don't know about that. Anybody who doesn't report people that get raped in college, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Governor.
Out here. This is you recognize the bottom form here, Fulton County Court Payment Voucher.
I don't.
Is this you've never seen any document in this format before?
Never.
Okay. Well,
I agree, pimp, because she clearly don't know shit, and she's the whole whatever district attorney, whatever the fuck the bitch is. The bitch run a whole county, and she don't know shit.
This shows a number of things here. It shows what fund it was paid from here, which is 440, which is your the forfeiture fund account. You can see at the top the unit name, confiscated funds for this invoice, and then here you can see that this was a payment made. And I apologize, you can't see my mouse. On the left side there, right in the middle, you can see that this was a payment made to the law office of Nathan Wade. In reviewing for your testimony today, we just did review the bills and look through different sources of funds that were used to pay Mr. Wade. I know your testimonies, you were not aware that forfeiture funds were used. We saw Mr. Wade was paid from forfeiture funds and from the county general fund, which is Fund 100. And that's why I was getting to the uses of forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors. Do you have any knowledge of any restrictions that may be around the concept of using forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors?
I do not. It was my understanding that Mr. Wade was paid out of my professional services budget.
Okay. What's the accounting process? That's kind of what I was getting to earlier. Of kind of, if it was your understanding he was paid out of the professional services budget, that would intimate that there's some sort of accounting procedure within either your office or the county office where there are separate fund allocations. And I asked you if your funds were commingled and everything was paid out of the same, or if there were dedicated accounts. So you were unaware that Mr. Wade was paid out of the forfeiture funds. You believe he was paid out of the professional services funds. What would be the process, as you understand, in your office to determine what fund a invoice is paid from?
You're in the weeds, and I don't know the answer.
Okay. We've already talked about the selection of the special SADA, special assistant district attorneys. I may use those interchangeably. The process of interviewing Governor Barnes, among some other folks, ultimately settling on Mr. Wade.
Well, I don't want you to act like he was,
Well, after just talking to 2 or 3 people, I think, to be fair, I don't think
he's
I'm not seeing
been practicing law 25 years.
Sure. What was the reason that you chose to use, and I think if you could just unpack this for us a little bit more, that you chose to use a special assistant DA at the rate of $250 an hour versus using the attorneys that were already in your office, or hiring additional attorneys at a rate that you referenced earlier is between, I think you said, between $85,000 and $200,000 a year?
Because we were drowning. And so most of the lawyers I had in the office wouldn't be qualified to do that work, most of them. I had some that were qualified to do that work, but each of them had a major project. Let me use those 2 cases that mattered most to me, Kennedy Maxey and Sequoia Turner. I was determined we were going to win those cases. So on day 1, those cases got handed to Miss Dacia Young. In addition to handing her that, because nobody has one job, I handed her the Special Victims Division, at which time had like 8 units. So she's doing both these 2 big cases, and she's over the entire Special Victims Division. Same thing with Mr. Carlson, very qualified lawyer, but I handed him 6 units, and I also told him, you gonna get rid of these 250 or so murders that we have. We're gonna do a project, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna go one by one. So every lawyer I had with that level of experience had a huge project. I assigned a lawyer to deal with the 18,000 backlog. I don't want to be sitting here in, it took us, I think, 3 years to get through those, as well as keep up with the 46,000 cases that end up coming in my first.
We are fucked up out here, man. Fuck.
The election interference case.
You are really not listening. I said that I had people at that pay rate, and each of them was assigned a major task within my office. And no, I did not have anyone that was not assigned with a major task that I trusted to manage this case. And so I made a decision. The people of Fulton County elected me to make that decision, and I did.
Is there a reason why you decided to go the special assistant district attorney route via independent contractor as opposed to a new full-time hire?
I think it's asked and answered, sir.
Okay.
Because it's cheap. We don't have to pay the perks.
Governor, I'm happy for you to provide counsel to your client, but in terms of testimony, that's what the district attorney is here for today.
Wow.
Can you describe?
Give you fair notice. I'm not going to allow her to answer repetitive questions that have been answered time and time again.
Were there any internal policies that you had that kind of drew a line between you when you would use your internal staff versus hiring a special assistant district attorney, or was it more so based on workload, like you described?
It was based on my decisions.
Okay. At its peak, how many total attorneys were working on the election interference case?
Listen, did you know that there's a way to earn from home by helping businesses get the money?
Maybe 9, approximately.
All right. Let's take a quick spin. I mean, you can't get away from this hoe.
One of the things that I do not like is when y'all make me defend people that I don't even like because you're coming at them from a very racist perspective. I am talking about District Attorney Willis, who is testifying before the Senate, and I am arguing with people. I don't even like this lady, okay? I am not in Fulton County. I'm in Gwinnett County, but if I was in Fulton County, I wouldn't have voted for her. I couldn't stand the way her whole office handled the Young Thug trial and the things that kind of came out in there. Let me know how she does business, and I'm not for it. My opinion. But y'all got me defending her because the first thing y'all want to do when it comes to a powerful Black woman is attribute all her success to DEI or affirmative action, like she ain't go to school.
Here you go, guys. A lot of our bitches are big. I know nobody want to say it. Nobody want to say it.
Okay, so are y'all watching this Fani Willis hearing down there in Georgia?
Hold on, I gotta give you niggas this quick preview. Gotta give you this preview here. This what we gonna cover.
Was how I was trying not to be fat, and
it became part of my.
It's actually like celebrating who I am.
Everyone I've had
For it, like I've worked with people.
say that it's adjective, but I can see when non-fat people see me use the word. I used to name
Creative ways to was a whole other way. So much of having memories as a 5-year-old, like taking a picture, hiding behind flowers for my dance concert because I thought I was fat. P.S. I wasn't. I mean, that's also like a whole thing too. You know, so much of my identity was how I was trying not to be fat. And then when I finally woke up and was like, wait a minute, it doesn't matter. Now I'm a fat activist and it absolutely is part of my identity, but it is in like a whole other way. It's not like me trying to hide who I am. It's actually like celebrating who I am. So
thank you for sharing that. Speaking of that word, fat, how does that term affect you? Does it offend any of you ladies?
No.
I think the context, like, you know, it's all how it's used. Like, yeah, I can say it, call myself fat, but like one of the skinny ladies were to say it, I don't quite know. It's to me, it's a kitchen table word. Like the context, like, you know, it's all how it's used. Like, yeah, I can say it, call myself fat, but like one of the skinny ladies were to say it, I don't quite know. It's to me, it's a kitchen table word. Like, it's okay amongst us, but oh, that girl over there, no, I think there's other creative ways to use it. It doesn't really bother.
There's other creative ways to use the word fat. So yeah, we're gonna cover this right here, man. It's gonna be crazy. She said there's creative ways to talk about how a bitch got the arms that she has.
Yeah, I can say it, call myself fat, but like one of the skinny ladies were to say it, I don't quite know. It's to me, it's a kitchen table word. Like, it's okay amongst us, but oh, that girl over there, no, I think there's other creative ways to use it. It doesn't really bother me, but it's just like, come on, let's use better adjectives.
Right.
I would agree. I think it's just context for me. And I don't really mind if someone calls me fat. It's just the context. I think it's just an adjective. When I used to nanny kids, one of the girls was chubby and would get bullied a lot. And I would just tell her like, fat's just an adjective. But I can see when non-fat people see me use the word fat, they're like, but you're beautiful. And I'm like, no one said I was ugly. Oh, I'm just fat. That's the adjective.
Yeah.
I have really appreciated seeing thin friends learn words like bigger bodied and plus size and curvy and feel comfortable saying that or feel comfortable acknowledging that.
Y'all see this shit? You see this shit? Ma'am, how are you mad at a word called fat? Yo, these bitches got some serious mental blocks, pimp.
I live in a bigger body, but fat is just a word. It's just a descriptor, and it is what people would describe us, whether it's negative or positive. So for me, it's kind of like the word bitch. It's like we reclaimed that in 1997. So let's reclaim the word fat. If I want to call myself a fat person, which I am one, it sort of starts to take, I think, the stigma and those hurt feelings away and just normalizes it. And I love making people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
I love making people feel uncomfortable. Ma'am, one of the worst positions that a fat person can have, and I've seen this for years. I remember when I had too much of a belly before, but never like this shit, never ever. But one of the worst positions that a fat person could ever take is to rest their crossed fingers alongside their fat belly. People who are not fat don't do that. I know she don't understand it. I know she thinks she's just being comfortable. But fat people have a tendency to rest their arms or their hands upon their shelving belly. It's a horrible sight. I remember when I had a little bit of a belly and I had caught myself doing that shit one day, I immediately went on a diet. I was like, damn, Prince, fuck are you doing?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
That is comfortable. Okay.
I mean, that too, in like certain contexts.
I see what you mean. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Does anyone have anything to add to that in terms of the word?
I wanted to ask the young lady in the blue, how would it not be taken out of context, or how could a skinny person, because you mentioned the skinny girls, how could we use it and you not be offended? Is there ever a time we can say you're fat and you won't be offended?
Like when I mean, like if you're using it mean-spirited, you know, like, will I be deeply offended? No, but it's just like, okay, this is where we're going. So then, of course, I'm quick with it. I'm going to have to say something rude too. But but overall, like if we're homegirls, you're like, okay, come on, you know, okay, you're a little fat. Okay. So it's really in the
You
context.
said you a little fat. I'll be damned.
Overall, like if we're homegirls, you're like, okay, come on, you know, okay, you're a little fat. Okay. So it's really in the context of the word.
Are you LLC curious? Wondering, is it time to make my business official with Busy?
So it's more like rude. It feels rude.
Yeah, I think most of the time people use it in a rude way. But like, for example, like if I'm in a room, like me and my best friend's polar opposite. I'm white and fat. She's super thin and Asian. So I'll be like, oh, you see that really tiny thin girl over that thin Asian girl? That's her. And she might be like, oh, you see like the fat white girl? That's like my best friend. So that'd be a time where I'd be like, yeah, I am the fat white girl. Like, you know what I mean? But definitely most of the time in most contexts, people are not saying it for adjective purposes.
And I agree with that. I wasn't trying to be intellectually dishonest. I agree with that. I've only used it negatively.
That's what I was thinking. I think for you, after the holidays, are you going to be on January 1st? Oh, I got a little fat. My abs are under some cookies. That's when it's like, you are never going to be fat, right?
I probably would say that because I know I could get my abs back quick.
But you're not fat. You have gained weight or your body has changed, but you're not fat.
Or I hate being at a table and they're like, oh, I'm going to be like such a fat ass right now because they're big fat, like more like that when they're eating. I'm like, okay, then what am I? Like, if you're fat, then like, damn, I'm the Titanic. Like, I don't know what we know.
Well, yes. And that's a major, major problem that y'all are even claiming the word fat. You are what they call obese. Titanic. Right. No disrespect. And guess what? I'll do one better. I'll even say you might have a pretty pussy. Now, I mean, anybody in the world could have a pretty pussy, but a lot of niggas will never be able to see it because niggas ain't gonna fuck you because you fat. Yeah, I know, man. I know, brother. I know.
It's not a feeling. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people use the word fat as. It's like, I feel fat today. It's like, you've never been fat one day in your life. So I think that's where like the activism for us comes in, and the allyship with thin women around us is like, as soon as you stop using it as a feeling, it helps us. And also for me, like, I'm not a mom on purpose because I don't want to like pass on this like body image.
I'm not a mom on purpose because I don't want to pass on this body image. Do you believe her? Do you believe her? Now, the only thing that I'll give the bitch is that she look like she, you know, she's Mexican. So Mexican niggas will knock her up. That's the only thing I'm giving her.
Relationship with thin women around us is like, as soon as you stop using it as a feeling, it helps us. And also for me, like, I'm not a mom on purpose because I don't want to like pass on this like body image sort of negativity to the next generation. But
wow, I've never heard that. I've never heard no shit like that. Ma'am, do you think you're a smart person? Do you think your pussy is any damn good? So if you're smart, why wouldn't you want to reproduce another smart person? Are you so much caught up on looks that you wouldn't think that the child that you bear would be smarter than you to not be as fat as you? Would you not allow that child to learn off of your fat ass? You just a horrible piece of shit of a person. And you so fucking hateful and fucking jealous that you would try to feed that little fucking child all that they wanted instead of letting that little girl be a princess, and you have to buy her small items because you a jealous bitch.
As soon as you stop using it as a feeling, it helps us. And also for me, like, I'm not a mom on purpose because I don't want to like pass on this like body image sort of negativity to the next generation. But those of us that aren't as aware of it, it's really easy to just look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, whatever about your body. And then you don't know what child, or, you know, if you have a child, I suppose, is looking at you and taking that in, and then they're going to school being like, you're fat, to someone else. So it's just like this chain reaction.
I will say, when you take out the sting of what it is, once I changed my mind about fatness and that it's okay to be fat, and this is how every generation, probably if you go 20 back, of my Irish Catholic family looks, you know, we're big bone girls. And when I realized it's not a morality like indicator, right? It's just when I took the stigma of being fat out of what I thought about it, you could call me fat all you want, and it doesn't even bother me because it's true, and it doesn't make me a bad person
or less of a person.
Yeah,
I do want to. I'm sorry. I do want to like chime in and say that like just how you guys can be selective about how you want to be addressed when you are addressing someone who doesn't share the same body type. Like I think two of you guys like reference like the skinny girls. Like it feels like there's a sense of divide, and there's also like an intermeeting of what you choose fat to mean. When fat isn't necessarily a negative thing, because in some cultures it's like a sign of wealth.
Yeah.
But also like I don't know. I don't think there should be like don't call me fat when you claim it in a way. And if it's like in a negative way, then that's when you deserve like clap back. Like say something about it, because if somebody is throwing bad energy towards you, of course you're supposed to defend yourself. But I do also think like on both sides of things, when we're using language, intentions is most important more than the word. And saying, oh, I don't like when people say this and that and the third. It's just like, well, what do y'all call us? You gonna call us skinny? And then in my history, like growing up, skinny wasn't necessarily great. Like I got made fun of for my size. And I feel like it could hold weight and power over you based off of a word, or it could just be more of a sense of reference. It's just like I feel like there's experiences on both sides of the spectrum. So just being so bold to like call one side thing and then be like gatekeep a word on the other end, it's like maybe
we fucked up, my nigga. Let me just say it. Like, look at what we're dealing with out here, man. What you got? 8 pussies up there. Well, 9 pussies. Then niggas got to start the process of elimination. Man. That's fucked up. We got 9 pussies up there. The skinny ones are stupid in the head, but I guess they could be fuckable. And then the fat bitches are also stupid in the head and not so much fuckable. Dang. Guess it would be better if all the fat bitches had their men up there that could. That's the only way I could see it. If they had, whoever got a man, be up there with your man. And see how many fat bitches could pull that off. Dang. None of these women are smashable. I never pay a dime to get to know an American woman. Yo, they fucked up. How you say? You might as well say Jamaican, in America, any of these bitches in America. African, they all fucked up. Man. Damn. I mean, I can't say it's nothing cool about it. Hey, you know what else I want to cover? I got this other shit I want to cover as well. I got this shit, man. We talking about the real women type shit.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brands.
Tonight, growing concern over the whereabouts of Roshanak Molai. The 25-year-old Iranian woman had posted this video to social media on November 1st. It's believed to show her walking in Tehran with her head uncovered when she's accosted by a man in a military uniform. She fights back in this heated exchange, drawing in several bystanders. She captioned the video, "A scene from being a woman in Iran." Human rights advocates say the following day she was summoned by Iran's cyber police and eventually arrested. Her account was taken down and no one is known to have heard from her since.
She has kind of disappeared. We don't have any information about her whereabouts, her condition, whether she was rearrested, whether she's in jail right now. So there's not much information out there, which is very troubling.
In a statement, Iranian police acknowledged the confrontation, saying both the man and the woman had, quote, been referred to judicial authorities, and that Molai is being prosecuted for not observing mandatory hijab laws. According to the human rights organization Henga, Molai has in the past publicly opposed mandatory hijab laws on social media. She was also arrested in 2022 for taking part in widespread protests over the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini while in police custody. Amini was detained in part for not correctly wearing a hijab. The UN says she was killed as a result of beatings, but Iran maintains she died of pre-existing medical conditions. Henga says Molai was only released a year later. Women in Iran have continued to protest the country's strict dress code. Earlier this month, another young woman protested the laws by stripping down to her underwear in public at a university in Tehran. A university spokesperson saying she was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Her current condition is unknown. Even with a new moderate president and a slightly more permissive morality police, the regime is still cracking down. A UN report released earlier this year flagged what it called a deteriorating human rights situation for women and girls across Iran.
Yeah, this other gladiator hit me up. But yeah, you niggas understand what we talking about? It's not a game. And I got some other shit to cover, about this stuff. Like, they are not playing with the women over there, but the women believe that they can fight and break the power over there. It's a little bit of a shit going on over there.
And just this week, the Iranian government announcing treatment clinics where women who refuse to wear the hijab may be referred for therapy that encourages compliance.
We're seeing a lot of small acts of resistance every single day, and we're seeing a quiet revolution happen within the society. And when people want human rights and freedom, there is nothing that can really stop them. And you're seeing a young generation leading this movement.
So long as hijab laws are in place, many Iranian women say they'll continue to defy them at any cost.
And Danielle Hamanjan joins us now with more. Danielle, where do things go from here? Are we expecting to see protests inside of Iran?
Well, we haven't seen any protests in the streets so far. It's been mostly online. But if history is any indication, things can quickly spiral. You'll remember, of course, the case of Mahsa Amini. Women, girls all over the country in the streets, in schools were shouting women, life, liberty. And it was for some time considered to be one of the biggest challenges, or posing one of the biggest challenges to the rule of the supreme leader at the time.
Yeah, let's talk a little more about the role of the supreme leader here, because you mentioned in your piece Iran does have a fairly new president, one that is typically described as more moderate than his predecessor. But the supreme leader of Iran hasn't changed. It's been the same person in that position since 1989. So ultimately, when we're talking about morality laws and the enforcement of them, who actually decides how that plays out in the streets?
Well, enforcement often or sometimes has depended on the political context. After the protest, the Mahsa Amini protests, the morality police sort of eased off for a while.
They got morality police.
In terms of Masoud Pezeshkian, the fairly new president in Iran, they've tried to present him as a reformist. He has said in the past that he would stop the morality police from bothering women. But as many will point out, despite he can be very open to the West, his allegiance remains with the supreme leader, who fundamentally holds power and controls the country, and he calls the shots. That being said, as well, with everything going on in the region, tensions rising both with Israel and the United States, Iran is not going to want any dissent at home.
All right, Danielle Hamanjan reporting from the Middle East. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC.
David. So yeah, we're gonna cover some of that. See what's going on with these. They trying to fight it, but the brothers over there ain't playing. The brothers over there, they're not going to be taking over.
Iran has launched an attack of nearly 400 missiles at Israel today in backing up Iran right now, mostly Democrats, that they are supporting Iran right now. So I want to go over a few rules and laws in Iran about women. Basically, it's everything against what Democrats believe. So if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain. So
if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain.
Basically, they see you as a half a brain. So you don't have the full brain. So let's say if you witnessed a murder and you're a woman and you want to go to the court and say that you witnessed a murder, there should be 3 women. So your witness, like your words, will be approved in the court. Versus if it's a man and it witnessed a murder, only 1 man is enough. Why?
Sounds good so far, guys?
Because they say women have half a brain. If you're a woman in Iran, you have kids and you want to divorce, you only can have that child until 7 years. After 7 years, your child is for your husband, and he can come and take the child away from you, and you might never ever see your child again.
It would behoove that woman to stay with the husband, right? Sound good so far, guys? So yeah, we're going to cover stuff like that so that you guys can really, really see how it is. And guess what? Those women still look good. They still got great skin. I don't know if they got stinking pussy, but, they look good. They make good-looking babies, and they seem to want more freedom. Not so fast. They're about nation building over there. They ain't about your individual bullshit. Yeah, so, we're going to cover that type of shit. Because, King, I try to put these niggas on real game. These niggas don't know shit. I try to show niggas real shit. These niggas don't know shit, brother. And I totally understand. It's a more entertaining aspect out there. I believe the shit we do is entertaining, but we also drop that work.
Or if he doesn't want to, he can leave this child with you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to divorce your husband, oh, you have to go through hell. But if your husband wants to divorce you, it's super easy for them.
Sounds good so far, guys? We gonna cook. Sounds good so far? So they living good over there. They don't deal with none of this bullshit you deal with over here, pimp. I'm talking about not one iota. I mean, zero. It's not even thought of. You can't even muster up a thought of the shit we go through in those guys' minds. You know? I know that type of shit sound good, fellas. We gonna cover it, though. I ain't gonna let the whole cat out the bag. Because my gladiator may be on the way. But yeah, we got some cooking to do. You know, let these bitches know what it is. It ain't like this all over the world. But me and King Disagreeable told you niggas a long time ago. This was at least about 2 years ago. Uh-oh, my gladiator coming in. Hello? Praise Jesus.